I'm going to read Summer Cormar's next dialogue here. Tough break about the beacon, Ginger Spice. He knows my name. And now you've made a powerful enemy out of Vaunt. Still, look at it this way. That means you've arrived. You can't be anybody in this town without making enemies. You're not the only one in this town who's unhappy with Mr. Lucian Vaunt. Some of those people are looking to hire adventurers. Maybe I can line up some jobs for you that will get you some payback against Vaunt. Let's see here. What's next? There's an inquisitive who is trying to solve a string of murders down in Cogsgate. Tough neighborhood. Not surprising. Anyway, there are so many corpses that she needs someone to help her with the investigation. There doesn't seem to be a... I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be connection, but it says conception with Vaunt. But hey, you never know. Have a talk with Zeleth Krauspire. She's a tiefling. You can't miss her. It's Sabathal. She says, I'm in a fix, adventurer. Someone's gone on a spree down in Cogsgate and left a pile of bodies behind. Maybe those are the bodies that we left there earlier. So many bodies, I don't have time to investigate all the crime scene myself. I'm going to need help finding the killer. The kind of help that won't cut and run when things get ugly, which they will. What do you say? It's your chance to see a part of Sharn they don't talk about in the tourist brochures, and you'll be paid for your time. I'm in. Where should I meet you? My office is down in Cogsgate. Meet me there. You can take a sky coach down, but don't let anyone see you. We want to keep this as quiet as possible. I'll meet you at your office in Cogsgate. In an hour 5. I thought that was Gawk.
Well, I talked to the quest giver. It's back at the ship again.
Okay, apparently Gop and Gawk are the same. They have exactly the same definition. I was not aware of the version that ended with the letter P. Interesting.
I better turn the other one in.
Missing Nimbin and Twizzles.
Sorry, everything's invisible on my screen, so I'm trying to find
Red
where
Rain.
the quest interest is.
It's the same little ship thingy. The same entrance as the last one.
All of Sharn, everything's invisible. All I can see is the airship rings, so I'm trying to like blindly find it.
Can you queue around for it?
Try rebooting your computer.
Hit Alt Enter and then hit it again.
I found it. I'm loading in. This tiefling has a really cool inquisitive outfit we didn't get.
Welcome to Cogsgate. It's not a place they put on postcards, but it's my home. I grew up here and I do what I can do to make it a fit place to live. It's not easy with the gangs running wild on the streets and everyone else too scared to leave their homes. That's why I need someone to lend me a hand. That's why I need you. Give me the scoop on these murders you were talking about. In just the last 24 hours, these streets have turned redder than the hair on a halfling's head. More murders in one night than I've seen in a while. And these killings don't seem to be simple gang takedowns. Something else is going on here. There's just too many crime scenes for me to investigate all on my own. Not to mention I have my own reasons to keep a low profile. So I need you to be my eyes and examine some crime scenes and collect evidence. Maybe we can get to the bottom of this before more people get hurt. What do you think we're dealing with here? I have my theories. The obvious explanation is one of the gangs. The Boromar clan and the Dask have been warring in the lower city for years, but I've also heard a few rumors that there might be someone else at work here. Anyway, let's just focus on gathering evidence for now. The crime scenes will speak for themselves. Why doesn't the City Watch do something about this? The City Watch? You've still got a lot to learn about Sharn, kid. The Watch only protects those who can pay. Never mind that that usually means getting in the way of actual justice, especially down here in a hole like Cogsgate. Cogsgate, the warehouse of Lower Sharn, otherwise known as the bottom of the barrel. A pit of refuse, or, my personal favorite, at least it's not the cogs. Not quite desperate enough to head underground, but too poor to afford a view of the sky, this is the place for you. Either that, or you are involved in business so dirty it would make all the bright and shiny denizens of the upper city clutch their jewels and lock their doors. So this is like one step above the cogs. In terms of like the caste system here, or the.
You just hanging around.
I missed the code too, Syax.
Where do we go?
Can I get a Bard song? I was in the load screen when you were giving them out. The DDO just gave away 100 DDO points in your live stream chat.
Thanking you.
I totally didn't see it.
That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That is very cool, DDO stream. And you're welcome for streaming. Who got it? Who got the code?
The secret door.
Where do we go?
Grab the code,
Secret door.
grab the
Where?
code.
Where?
There's another one for 100.
Syax, grab the code.
I'm just too slow with it.
Yeah, I missed it again, damn it.
Somebody got it already?
Yeah, I got it.
That's cool, DDO stream.
Right?
Alright, so there's a secret door over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Someone find it. We have 2 rogues in here. Get to work.
I searched for it.
It
Yeah,
can't be
secret door.
something you have to
It's
search
behind
for.
the thingy.
There's no way, because there was no way they'd make it gated to have a high search. So we're missing a lever or
I
something.
don't know. Yeah, I saw it. Oh, there it is. Let's see.
Where?
No, I mean I'm getting the note.
Yeah, I get the
trap.
message.
Oh, you know what? I didn't finish the dialogue.
Zelith pulls a switch and nods
Oh,
toward the
okay.
back of the building. You hear
Oh.
the scrape of stone on stone
Smart
as the
voodoo,
concealed
smart.
back door
I was
slides
distracted
Oh, there it is.
by point codes.
Alright guys, catch up to me. It's not Nimbin's first look.
You gifted a tier 1 sub to DDO stream.
And I'm
Nice.
finding more secret doors than
That's
the roads
awesome.
Streets of Cogsgate. Towers
What's
loom
that one?
high
What's
above,
that?
so
missed-
tall they block out the
What?
night sky. Anyone
just
who
heard a
knows it's
secret
good
door
for
being
them to
found.
stay indoors tonight. A rain
Cookie
of blood is
Kobold's in
falling
chat.
here, and it's up to you to mop up the mess.
Hey, Cookie.
Hi, Cookie Cobalt.
Oh, and my twin, No Bob.
No, Bob.
No Bob, I have to
I
tell
love
you,
guys
since you're there,
immensely. I never say anything bad.
Dude,
I also have a YouTube channel.
I have to tell you this.
That
So,
supports all the amazing content
you were on
make.
DDO Cast
You
like
guys are the
6,
greatest,
8 months
and
ago,
I love you all.
and I
I
saw
can't hear
it,
you. Ginger's talking.
and I was like, I couldn't believe how much, like, we looked like each other. Like, it freaked me out. Like, some people are like, oh, this person looks like you, and you're like, yeah, kinda. Like, I thought you look like me. Like, nah, I have a beard now. Like, this is how much it was crazy. Okay, I brought both my parents to show. I showed both my parents this video, and it fooled my parents. Both my parents were fooled and thought you were me. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing on that show?" I'm like, "That's not me." And my mom just went like white faced. She's like, "What?" Crazy. So I've been wanting to like
That was that secret twin she never told you about.
dress like you
Yeah.
and get a picture side by side. I'd have to shave the beard, but the beard's new. Oh, I guess I should speak to this guy. Say, that's some nice clothes you're wearing. Why don't you give me a few coppers? Come on, I can tell from looking at you, you can spare it. Just need a little nip to keep me warm out in the streets. I'm here on business for an inquisitive. Anything you can tell me about recent goings on in Cogsgate? Inquisitive, you say? Working for Zeleth, I bet? I should have known. If something's up, she's first on the scene. What a gal. Always on the lookout for the little guys in the neighborhood. Not the Boromar. I don't mean them. They might be small, but they're big on trouble. Ha! So the gangs have been causing trouble down here? Used to be just Dask we had to worry about round here, but now the Boromar are fighting them for territory. Heard a rumor some bigwig hired the halflings for security. Sent some of their people to the neighborhood. Just what we need. More people stirring up trouble in Cogsgate. Lead the way, Nim.
There's a collectible.
Collectible where?
Oh, and some death.
Incoming. Remnant.
There's some guy hiding behind a column here trying to be sneaky. Oh, wait.
Collectible.
Boy, this all looks quite different and fresh and new,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's really amazing.
All new.
I like how the
Mhm.
walls have
Yeah,
like,
a
oh,
lot
whoa,
of-
you can stand on these. Oh, no.
Whoever designed the Drunken Dragon
This all looks so
Tavern or
cool.
whatever, love it. The dragon, all the monster heads on the wall, the dragon head, it's gorgeous.
Everything looks really nice.
We found some guy.
Oh, somebody's
Somebody
here.
hiding.
Lucinda Anvilhammer, Merchant, Adventures Pack. Am I glad to see you? The Boromar picked a fight with the Dask earlier over protection collections, and I got caught right in the middle of it. I've been hiding out back here ever since. You're not from down here, are you? You have no idea how bad it gets in Cogsgate. I used to think, well, at least I'm not down in the cogs. Lately, I'm not so sure. I took care of some of the grunts loitering nearby. Should be safe to leave now.
Spoke to residents.
Thanks again, Friday.
That's an optional.
6-manning the raid? I doubt it. I mean, maybe we could step in and see what it's about.
Rest in
Oh,
peace
did
to
you
that
see above the
model
door?
lying on
The doors to
ground.
the gambling hall are wide
What-
open.
Yeah.
Its chairs are
Yeah.
empty. Though the nearby
There's a
tables
D20
are
in the wall.
still
There's
covered
a-
with food and drink.
Person over here.
Yeah.
Looks like the customers left in a hurry.
In a chest.
And a gambling ledger,
The victim
which is probably a clue.
lies sprawled on the floor, a crossbow
A
bolt.
chest full of coins was left here locked and untouched. This was no robbery. You can tell that there's more to this than meets the eye.
A crossbow bolt jutting from her side. That seems plain enough, but then you start to notice more details. There's a strange, viscous liquid covering the bolt that isn't blood, and the victim's hands have been slashed with a knife.
You find a crossbow bolt still lodged in the victim's side. You also notice several gashes on her palms.
Gambling
Searching the
ledger.
gambling hall raised more questions about the murders than answers. As you turn to leave, you hear figures clamoring outside the building.
This ledger lists everyone
Lock, lock, lock.
who owed money. Oh crap.
The incriminating information in this ledger would fetch a pretty price on the black market. You wonder why the murderer would leave it behind. You strike down the last of this group of Dask thugs and check to make sure there are no more nearby.
I'm gonna
So
finish
this is
reading
the
this.
next-
Away
the
they
letter.
came.
Oh, I can't finish reading the ledger, but what was there another letter, did you say?
A chest. Both of these are the clues that started that fight.
You force the lock on the chest. Inside are stacks of copper and silver coins. It seems unlikely that a robbery would leave this behind, especially in a place like Cogsgate.
It's a murder mystery. We're just finding clues.
It's a murder. Someone's been killed, and someone's responsible.
He's dead, murdered,
There's
and
a
somebody's
crescent right in the
responsible.
library.
Oh. Oh.
Hey.
This is a good end.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun.
I see a lever, a lover and lever around the corner, and desks. Fear
And a
Reaper
Fear Reaper.
and the Burger King mascot.
I always thought that Burger King mascot guy was creepy.
Yeah, of course. He kind of looks like a Happy Jesus from Dogma, but with a crown.
We have to figure out what kind of mobs lays those blowing up spiders.
Trappers.
Boromir?
Gremlins.
Yeah, the
The
Boromir
Boromir
Trappers.
Trappers.
Okay.
Which is the name of my bowling team, actually.
Those are like the new, what was it?
Lost Soul.
Shadowvar Assassins, or what were they?
You push open the
Shardakai
door to the
Assassins.
apartment. The surprisingly well-decorated rooms show signs of a struggle. Your stomach clenches in anticipation as you near the crime scene.
Wait,
Yeah, new voice.
this looks like the beginning area almost.
Another gambler.
A list of debts. I didn't click on anything.
Winning gambling ticket on the floor.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. The corpse lies in a pool of blood. There's a crossbow bolt impaled in the victim's chest cavity, coated in an odd, acrid-smelling sludge. Painful-looking gashes have been carved into the halfling's hands. As you back away, you nearly step on something sharp. Fragments of a shattered pin.
After examining the corpse, you can see that he was killed by a poisoned crossbow bolt. His last gambling ticket lies just
Read the
out
other
of
two
reach.
clues in there. There's a book and a ticket.
A crumpled piece of paper lies just out of Felon's reach. It's a winning ticket from a underground fighting match down in the cogs.
Felon had just won big, cleaning up on a match in an underground fighting ring down in the cogs.
List of debts. This is a lengthy list of debts, neatly noted in a tidy hand. It looks like Felon once owed money to both Dask and the Boromar. All the entries have been crossed off, however. At the bottom of the page is a note. Stay debt-free from now on. Haul only once per week. Remember, big
Well, it looks
changes take big work.
So it looks like he
Felon
needs
must
to know
have
when to
spent his
hold
recent
him.
winnings
Know
digging
when to
himself out of
hold him.
debt. Imagine beating your end right after getting yourself clear. At least he died in the black.
Okay.
Despite clear attempts to make this look like a break-in, all of Felon's valuables
All right,
are
ambush.
still in their proper places. As you mull this over, you hear voices from the direction of the front door.
I don't want to be in there.
It looks like you have to talk to one of them.
Bruiser.
There's one in the beginning that you can interact with. Come over here.
Oh, I walked right by him. He's so short. I better not tell him that. I didn't even notice you. Half pint. Look what we got here, fellas. A bard sticking their nose in places they shouldn't be. Our poor friend Thelen winds up dead, and you're here, pawing through his place? Some coincidence. Diplomacy or intimidate. What do we do? Do we want to diplo or intimidate them?
Intimidate that fun. Nobody talks to us like that.
Back off and walk away. This is none of your concern. Actually, why don't you do that, Nimbin? You have higher intimidate than me, I bet.
Yep, I got a success on a 4.
Mine's 98.
Mine's 145.3. The smooth jazz station, 154.3. Get all your DDO news and music.
Hey, Kelderhawk. Welcome. Haven't seen you here before.
You managed to make it past the Dask thugs blocking your way. You've learned all you can about these first two crimes. You head back to the Wolf Gate.
Is that
Zealot
Dankus
awaits the
Skittle? I
results.
think I'm reading that
The gate
right.
will be
Welcome
closed
back
in
to
the center,
DDO.
probably. Or open.
Hell yeah, I'm glad you like the vids. I'm glad you found my live stream. Since you're just coming back, you know, lots changed in the last couple years. When did you come back? Did you, like, literally just come back, like, last night, or have you been back for, like, a couple months? Find anything, or are we still where we started? We've got a load of information, but none of it adds up. The gang seem to be involved, but I don't know exactly how. Still, there's a pattern here. Both victims were offed in the same way, shot with a poison crossbow bolt, and palms shredded with a knife. The palms are the part that throws me off. Why bother? Nothing about crime in Cogsgate is ever what it seems. We've still got a couple more murder scenes to check out. If we're lucky, we'll find something more conclusive there. Now would be a good time to hear that theory of yours. It's more of a hunch, really, that this might have had to do with someone I know. But so far, the evidence points toward a gang beef gone bad. I'd say my theory isn't worth exploring, not yet at least. We'd better split up again. We'll cover more ground that way. Next victim is a dwarf smuggler known as Mord. She runs a pawn shop nearby. Head south through this gate and you'll find her inside. Meet me at the Raven Gate to the north of here when you're finished investigating the scene. On it like a gargoyle on a ledge.
Zealot unlocks
I
the
like
gate,
that saying.
revealing a small lane
I
that
think
runs
the
deeper
enemy's
into the heart
M&M
of
because
Cogsgate.
palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
Well, Dankus Skittle. We love to answer viewer questions here, so, you know, if you...
Mobs.
2 years isn't bad, but that means you missed,
Carney and a Phantom.
you know, Reaper Mode, maybe... Well, Reaper Mode came out like 2.5 years ago. And you missed Ravenloft, but between me and the crew here and everybody in the live chat, we love to answer questions, and if we don't have the answer, we're going to point you in the right direction at least. But if you haven't done so already, what I always recommend to new players is to go onto DDO Wiki, and right at the top there's like a side-scrolling bar that has like bullet points for all the different updates. And if you just read the bullet points, it's like the executive summary. You'll get the like main points of what's happened in each update. And then if you want, you know, to read the release notes
Interactives.
and get more details, you can. But at least that way, like I said, you'll get the executive summary, and you just go back to the last update you were here for, and then just read all the bullet points from then on. The gall of those halflings, they showed up here uninvited, push me out of my shop and leave me without a roof to cover my head. Watch yourself, Bard. This is Boromar territory, and they don't like outsiders. I've heard a lot about the Boromar clan. What can you tell me about them? When you first see them, they don't seem like much. They're mostly halflings, after all. But don't underestimate them. They pack a powerful punch, not to mention their pets. I wish they'd left them back on the Talenta Plains. Talenta Plains? Thanks, stay safe out here.
I have a feeling that this quest is based off of Michael Jackson's Beat It.
If you got 11 Reaper points and you've only been back a week, that is great.
They don't want you around here. They don't want to see your face. They want you to disappear.
I am Sam,
Fires
thanks
in
for the
your
host.
eyes, Just beat it.
Wilburster says Talenta Plains are
Check
where the
that. Hold on,
halfling
I'm gonna
dino
find out.
riders come from.
Door.
Door.
The door to the pawn shop is unlocked, just as with the other crime
Interactables,
scenes.
cauldron,
Inside,
keg,
the
and
shopkeeper's
person.
body lies forgotten, alongside all the
Collectible.
other cast
The
offs in
body,
her
a
shop.
poisoned crossbow bolt, and slashed palms, just as you expected. But gripped in the smuggler's mangled fist, you find something new. A broken pin bearing the sigil of Vaunt Arcanotechnic. In the dwarf's pocket, you also find a list containing the names of Boromar gang members, signaling an allegiance with the gang.
A different body, but the same song. A crossbow bolt dipped in poison, and a palm covered in slashes. Yet this time a new detail catches your eye. A shattered pin bearing Vaunt Arcanotechnic symbol.
You carefully search the old keg, you find a false back, and inside it, a small compartment containing a variety of smuggled valuables.
A closer look at the keg reveals
There's
a
a
hidden
cauldron, too.
compartment filled
Cauldron
with
in the
smuggled goods.
There's no liquid inside the cauldron. You peer inside and find several small unmarked parcels.
Some small packages lie in the cauldron. No doubt they were hidden there so they could be fenced on the black market later. The murderer could have emptied the
Mobs.
pawn shop, and yet only Mord's life was taken.
Really powerful
Only
caster almost killed
I
Syax.
wonder, what connects all these gruesome crimes?
Boromir mobs, beware of spiders.
The last of the heavily armed halfling thugs falls.
We have to go back to the Raven Gate.
That was north, right?
Well, we're in a one-way street alley, so sure.
At some point. I thought she said north. Back from the pawn shop, what have you found? Turns out Mord had been working with the Boromar clan, so I don't think they're to blame for this. I tried to tell her pals that I'm not to blame either, but they saw me and started roughing me up without letting me get a word in. Not to mention that there was a ton of valuable and illegal smuggled goods lying in plain sight. Whoever killed the dwarf clearly wasn't in it for the money. Anything else of note? This time the victim was holding a pin with a symbol on it, the symbol for Vaunt Arcanotechnic. Vaunt Arcanotechnic? I was afraid of that. I haven't told you everything. I have a complicated history with Vaunt's company, and it's because of my brother, Zelkis. He works for Vaunt. I know I should have told you about this sooner, and I hope you won't think too badly of me for hiding my suspicions. It's just that I really don't want to believe my brother might be involved with this mess. You should talk to him. This time of day, you'll probably find him in the armory, just down this alleyway. Maybe you can get some answers. He probably doesn't want to talk to me. I'll lay low. Wouldn't want Zelkis seeing me and figuring out I'm the one behind this. When you've talked to Zelkis, meet me near the Manticore Gate on the other side. See you on the other side.
Another alley stretches before you.
So,
The more you
in
learn
the
about
first
the
quest,
victims,
before the
the
first
more
door opens
questions
into
you
the
have.
It's
place,
awesome,
You can
acidic
only
sage.
hope that
Tiefling
Zulka's crow
was
spire
talking to a
holds
guy
the
in the
answers
ship, and
you've
he
been seeking.
doors out, and I think that's
Mom.
your brother.
Here.
Oh, there's a deer.
A
That's
deer.
great.
Hey, there's a deer in here.
That was a colors proc.
Let it through. Oh, that's my colors proc. I was like, why is he following me? Or she. It's probably he has that one. Alright, this looks like the big bad.
Freaking deer.
A tiefling stands before you, with a face you remember from your recent
Zulka's
adventures.
Crowspire.
Despite your own shock at meeting him
Wait for
again,
everyone.
you
There's
hope
a
that
gate.
Zulkis is willing to answer your questions about the murders.
Let the deer do the talking. Ginger Spice, wasn't it?
My dear.
We weren't properly introduced last time we met. You were too busy falling, as I recall. Funny meeting you here in Cogsgate. Tell me, what's behind this wonderful, if unexpected, surprise? You tell me. There's been a string of murders in this district, all with the same method, and all with the same shoddy cover-up. Am I? Well, I think you're mistaken. I did hear something about a series of unfortunate, unconnected accidents around here, though it's very upsetting to find out that somebody thinks differently. But feel free to ask me anything. I'm an open book. Where were you last night? Last night? I was at home, minding my business. You don't seem to be familiar with the concept. It's quite relaxing and good for the health. You should try it sometime. I have more questions. Be honest, you're somehow involved in this mess, aren't you? That's all the time I have to entertain you, pal of mine. It really isn't too bad that so many loudmouth people have wound up dead. And it's even worse to see my sister Zeleth slinking around nearby, sending in outsiders to do her dirty work. Yes, I know, she sent you. Pass along a message to her for me, will you? I can't protect her if she continues with her silly little investigations, sister or not. And now I must be going. Morko, take care of our friend here. Hey, wait.
Zulka steps through a dimension door, his face glowing with the smug triumph of a man who thinks he's won, though you're too busy
Time to
dealing with his
dance,
troll
Marco.
bodyguard to notice. The troll topples, yet another casualty of this bloody night. Now, to meet up with Zeleth.
Chest.
Chest back there, guys. Where y'all go running off to?
Chest.
Boromir gangster, interactable. You gonna talk to Belinda Turinith, the Boromir gangster?
Gangsta.
Yeah, let me finish rebuffing everybody.
Master sword with my new clicky thing.
What are you doing here, outsider? This is Boromar territory. You've got brass. I'll give you that. You like your nose. Oh. I kind of read that with the wrong pause. You like your nose, don't you? Well, awful
You
thing.
like your nose.
You like your nose.
Like your nose. Well, awful things tend to happen to noses that get stuck in other people's business, get me? I've been hearing that a lot lately.
You like your nose is also a snot.
I thought he was comparing me to my nose.
Inquisitive.
You seem shaken up. What happened? Zelkus avoided most of my questions and tried to laugh off the whole thing. When he saw I wasn't buying it, he threatened you and sent his troll lackey to kill me. He said he'd remove his protection from you if you kept on the case. I'm sure he knows more than he's letting on. Did I mention he was sort of a jerk? That's my brother. Quite a family, right? Anyway, there's one more crime scene I need you to look into. If we're lucky, it'll tell us what we need to work out exactly what happened here. Zelka seemed pretty shook up by this whole thing, too. I don't think he was expecting anyone to look into this. Maybe these murders were supposed to look like accidents, but whoever did it, the dirty work screwed up. You might be right. That would explain the staging at each of the crime scenes. Anyway, next up is a murder in an alley a bit to the south of here. Victim's name was Naram. Meet me over there at the Bat Gate once you've investigated the area. We're closing in on this, I know it. And Zelkus can take his protection and stick it up his tail. I'm not going to stop now. Consequences be damned. We'll get to the bottom of this, Zeleth.
Zeleth shakes her head. The weight of her brother's betrayal
Mom.
settling over her like the dirt
Raptor.
that falls from the
Raptor.
streets from above.
Dinosaur.
But you've got a job to finish. Another crime scene waits for you in an alley south.
Hey, real Rob face. Welcome. Haven't seen you here before.
Oh, I love the dinosaurs.
Ooh, there's a champion in there that do not like me.
Oh no, there's an exploding thing. Back up, back up.
Where?
He's crawling at us.
It's that spider.
Oh yeah, two of them.
What do we do?
Not let
Look,
him.
Can they be ranged?
Run away until they explode.
Those things, guys, like explode like crazy. They're like, these are like atom bombs.
Can they be disarmed?
It's a mob. It's a mob.
It can be ranged. There it goes.
Remnants.
Those things are terrifying.
You like your nose. Secret door.
The secret door slides open,
Medusa.
revealing a Medusa. Oddly enough, she doesn't seem surprised to see you. Instead,
Your dreams are
she
coming
motions
true.
for you
It's a
to
friendly
enter.
Medusa. It's what you always wanted. Welcome to Cogsgate, strangers. The Boromar grow more bold with every passing day. I worry that this will upset the balance of power in Sharn, and you should worry as well. And why is this Boromar clan my problem? The Boromar are allied with Lucian Vaunt, and from what I have heard, Vaunt is now your enemy, or have I confused you with some other Stormreach adventurers? Why would a respectable businessman like Vaunt work with a notorious bunch of ruffians like the Boromar clan? Is that what you think, outsider? Few in Sharn truly respect a boastful newcomer like Vaunt. Not yet. The Boromar clan, on the other hand, are an institution in this town. They have their hands firmly on the levers of power throughout the city, levers that Vaunt wants access to. I have more questions. Why should I listen to your advice? Dask is just a different bunch of gangsters. Perhaps, but powerful forces support Dask, and our influence grows with each passing day. We both oppose the Boromar. Don't be foolish. Why make us your enemy? Fine, we both agree. We don't like the Boromar clan. I have some other questions. Let's skip the polite chit-chat. Do you intend to help me or oppose me? For now, I've been told to simply keep my eye on you. Dask will not overtly help you with Vaunt. You'll have to deal with him yourself. As for the future, well, we'll see when we get there. But please, feel free to kill any Boromar you find in Cogsgate. I won't complain. I'll do my
suggests
best.
that you help the Dask oppose the Boromar clan, since the Boromar have made an alliance with Vaunt.
Is there a chest?
Here's Niram. There's a backpack near
There's
him.
a ledger up beside the post too.
Yeah, 2 clues just like all the other victims.
Judging by the blood splattered on the floor, the elf must
You
have been...
stoop down to search the contents of Naram's pack. Looks like he was fleeing for his life when the murderer got to him.
There are slashes on the victim's palm. Determined to find answers, you take a closer look. Then you realize these aren't haphazard cuts. They form a name in goblin characters. Irk. I-R-K.
More slashes on the palm. And this time, you see the pattern. You wonder how you could have missed such an important clue. The slashes were literally the killer's signature. Whoever did this wasn't shy about letting people know.
The pack holds a few changes of clothes as well as some necessities for life on the road. The person who packed it was clearly planning on a long journey.
That ledger told you what you needed
There's
to
a
know.
security ledger
The
here.
victims all worked for Vaunt and were
Contact
killed
six.
because they knew too much about his operations down in the
Incoming.
top. You find a security ledger embossed with Vaunt Arcanotechnic symbol. A quick glance reveals that every victim had worked for Vaunt. It's too big of a coincidence to overlook, especially since a note in the margin
Keep an eye
talks
out
about
for
cleaning up
spiders.
loose ends.
That Boromar trapper just let one loose, but it looked like it died right away or something.
Well, if they follow the formula, like, you know, when methods spawn methods, they shouldn't be Reaper
You
mobs.
strike down the
Son of
last
Light, this
the
is brand new.
attackers.
This is Masterminds of
Can't
Sharn,
let
just
these
came out
petty thugs
today.
hold you back. Not
Alright, off
when
to
you're
that
so
gate.
close to
I
the
never
truth.
read the security ledger. I want to read it. This leather-bound book is embossed with the Vaunt Arcanotechnic symbol. It appears to be a list of employees. Its blood-splattered pages contain the name of each of the murder victims, as well as the dates when they were employed by Lucian Vaunt. In the margin next to one of the victims' names is a note. Too many loose ends know what caused the explosion. Clean them up. You, like your nose.
You, like your nose, are running all the time.
When I approached the scene, a crossbow-wielding goblin was already darting away. Pretty suspicious. Not to mention that he seemed familiar, but I have no idea where I know him from. What did you find? The victim was a foreman from the Vaunt factory down in the cogs. I found a ledger that had Vaunt's symbol and identified each of the targets as Vaunt's employees. That's how I know that goblin. He works with my brother. The mercenary company he worked for has a safe house near here. Maybe we can catch up with them there. You go first. I don't want Zelkus to see me. Head through this gate, then head northwest. We'll head that way.
You catch up with Zelith and fill her in on the clues you found so
Collectibles.
far. She points you towards an
More
alleyway northwest of where
Beware
the
of
goblin was
spiders.
last seen.
Spider in the middle.
Yep.
Oh, I found it.
I did not get out of there quickly enough. Cover Nimbin's heels, please.
Thank you. That was a big one.
5 seconds to raise. No, Bob is still here. Ready for raise. Watching him himself.
These guys hit like your nose.
Thank you.
Oh, no, Bob made this. Ginger's evil
Oh,
twin
that's
brother.
awesome. This is a cool one.
Nice.
This is
Well
crazy.
done.
I can't believe the dev who made this is watching my live stream.
I know, what an honor.
Totally.
Totally cool.
Sometimes I wonder when I'm about to go to sleep if the devs watch my channel,
Muggsy.
Nimbin Dirge Singer on YouTube.
Must be.
A familiar voice echoes from behind this door.
Adventure
What
pack
part
in
of
the
make
corner
it
here.
look like an
Possible.
accident didn't you understand? And leaving your signature behind was beyond stupid. Now Zelith is onto us. It's only a matter of time before she and those adventurers come barging in here.
That no-good goblin broke the deal. He killed one of us, one of the Boromar. He killed my brother. Just when Thelen was finally turning his life around. That's awful to hear. What deal are you talking about? We had a deal with those Vaunt goons. We protected them, and they paid us plenty. And now we see what they really think of us. I'm gonna tell all the Boromar boys what's happened. You're trying to do right by my brother's memory, so I don't see why I need to tell my clan where you're at. I hope you get that goblin. I'll do my
Talking
best.
to the residents has given you more insight into life in Cog's Gate.
Big door.
Is that other door? Can we not go through that other door down there?
It's not even selectable.
Is it delectable? I need to get this adventures pack.
I bet it opens and lets mobs come after us.
You might be right. Do it, Nim.
Don't think it's a trap.
Opening the door confirms your
Ooh,
suspicions.
Urk.
Zolkis argues with Urk,
I can't wait
the
to. I
murderous
hope they
goblin
bring
you've been
combo. I
searching
really
for.
love their body
They turn
model.
towards you as you approach.
I didn't think Marco Blah danced. It's Urk.
They're usually not. Watch out, Urk can lay down some pretty big damage. According to our guild chat. Don't chase after him, his traps will
Traps
do
are
damage.
down. There's traps down.
Uh-oh.
Trap.
Here.
More incoming.
Trap. Is the fear down?
Yes.
There's dead.
Yes.
Breathe a sigh of relief as the goblin falls. You've sent the murderer to his just reward. But as you turn to confront Zolkis, the goblin suddenly rises. Zolkis quickly casts a dimension door. The tiefling and the goblin disappear through it.
Here comes that tiefling.
The Inquisitive is here now, not helping us fight. She must be related to Elminster.
I wish the murderer hadn't gotten away, and I wish even more that my brother hadn't been working with him. But you held up your end of the bargain. Thanks to you, we've chased those killers out of Cogsgate. Meet me in Cliffside, and I'll pay you for your work.
Chest.
Zelith shakes her head. Sometimes it's a stranger who holds the knife.
Good job, No Bob.
Sometimes it's family.
Better
I let
Reaper
blood
XP.
cloud my judgment, and I'll pay for that every day. But I'll keep going. I'll move on to the next crime and the next.
No need.
You can't
somebody
just
got
stay
the stone
inside
one.
when trouble rains down. Not even if it never stops.
Think like a brick.